Okay, now I'm recording this.
So
So,
how are we doing this? Like what? Maybe you will explain once you start.
I saw the template which you sent the admin one.
Hmm.
Uh, I saw the real template also, and I saw the template which you sent me.
Hmm.
So the
So
thing
what do
is
you
that
mean by real template?
real from which they have taken it.
Oh,
The
okay, okay,
yeah the person guy converted into React one,
okay.
and uh, so but that guy who converted into React one has done it not completely that admin template.
Okay.
So, so the thing is
We'll
that
build our own from scratch, right? I don't want to like copy his or anything. I just want to build from scratch.
yeah. So if you want to build from the scratch, then you need to find some template which is only Bootstrap related. The template which you showed me has lot of jQuery, lot of other JavaScript, JavaScript integration. If
Yeah.
if you do so many JavaScript, lot of JavaScript, converting into the React will be time consuming.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I don't
You
want that headache.
you need
Yeah.
to find something which is Bootstrap related, only Bootstrap, no JavaScript.
So
Templates,
just HTML, CSS, Bootstrap. Yeah.
right, right. Templates should not consist of JavaScript because we are doing JavaScript in the React. And if you try to
Right.
use the JavaScript, then both will fight with each other and nothing will work.
So can we do it now, right now? Like, can you help me to choose a good template?
That we will do when time comes.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
do, and then we will find. Right now, means I don't want to waste my time in finding
Got
the
it.
template.
Okay. Okay.
Let's
Okay.
do the React, and then at appropriate time we will find some good templates.
And Manish, can I ask you one thing? So, like offline, when I'm doing stuff and I have some links or something to run by you, I can always email you, right?
You can email me, but if I'm in the middle of some office work, then I will
That
do it.
is fine. That is fine. Like if tomorrow I'm going over some templates, I can send you through email rather than wasting class time, right?
Right, right, right. So this
Okay.
site things you send me by email, and I'll see if it
Right.
is or if it's good for us or not.
Right. Okay. I'll do that. And please send me your email ID whenever.
Sure. Yeah, right now in the chat, you also give your email. I will give my email because you can only watch this video with your Gmail ID. Do you have Gmail ID? So
Yes,
just
I have.
give me the Gmail ID in the chat. I put my email ID, so you put your Gmail ID.
Okay. I'll do that.
So, okay, so we are doing the React JS, and the React JS is something, the UI component. It is useful for building the UI components. So it is
Okay.
called UI components. It is not the backend. It is not the server side code. It is only JavaScript view part.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, when we build application, we can build complete application in the React JS without using the Redux. But if you go for larger companies, they will expect you to know the Redux also. And why they want Redux, and this is the reason. Reason is this: React is view part. Generally, big companies want MVC framework, that is model, view,
Hmm.
and controller. So React is only the view part of MVC. We need
Okay.
model and we need controller, and this model and controller will come from Redux framework. So when we do with the React, if we can build complete application in the React,
We
but that
can?
yeah, we can build
Okay.
whole
Okay.
application in React, but that will not solve our purpose because as soon as the application will grow, you will have to take care of many things in the React, which is very difficult to maintain. So
Got
we
it.
need the Redux.
Okay. Okay.
And the main thing which we learn in the React is called JSX. JSX is a JavaScript uh, framework, kind of JavaScript library, but it is advanced JavaScript. It has all the powers of JavaScript plus some additional features which we will see what features they have. So it is
Right.
called JSX language. We are learning JSX language. It is similar to JavaScript, but it is extended JavaScript.
Extend it. Okay.
In React, we always build the components. Now, before going to the component, do you know how to build components in the React?
Like what a component is made
Means
of?
how to write the syntax of the component. I just wanted to know.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, first we import the React library, and then we
For the
do a
React.
class app which extends the React
Right,
component, right? Okay.
right.
I know that, but I haven't written any code. But yes, I've learned that from the class
Okay.
I took.
So this is the one we import the React and component from the React, and
Yes.
then we start with the class app extends the component, and inside this component we have the one function. That function is called render function, and
If
in the
you could
render,
explain that, what does that do? Yeah.
yeah. So in the, let's say we created app component, and in the app component we have the render function,
Hmm.
and render function always return the HTML part. Now in React we integrate HTML inside the JavaScript. So you will see this is the HTML part. We can write all the HTML code inside this return statement, and
Hmm.
this HTML is integrated in the JavaScript because this block of the code is JavaScript, and we are
Right.
writing HTML inside the JavaScript. Since we are writing
So we don't
HTML,
have an index.html file when we are doing React project?
we have index.html file, but that file, let's take example, this index.html file is something, it does all the things. We have HTML code, it has title, it has
Hmm.
everything,
Hmm.
but we create one div tag that has the ID of the root.
Okay.
And whatever we build in the React, we output the content inside this root.
Okay. Okay. So everything that is built in React is outputted here. Okay.
Right. We put it inside this root. So, though all the HTML which we write in the React goes inside the JavaScript, but
Hmm.
ultimately it outputs here inside this div tag with the ID equal to root inside
Got
this.
it. Okay. Okay.
And I will show you which part is actually putting the content inside this root part.
Okay.
So now here we put all the HTML inside this div tag, inside this render function, inside the render we have return, inside this return we put all HTML here.
Hmm.
The main thing to remember here is that it should have only one tag. I cannot have two div tag like this.
Oh, like an HTML file, we can't do that. Okay.
Yeah, so I cannot put two div tag. If I want to put two div tag, I will
Hmm.
take div tag inside this main div tag, and I can put as many div tag I want,
Oh,
but it
okay.
will be wrapped by one main div tag. So
Got it.
this is the main div tag. Inside it, you can create n number of div tag, n number of p tag, any tag, but the
Hmm.
main div tag should be only one.
Got it.
You
Okay.
cannot have two div tag. And
Mm-hmm.
instead of div tag, you can also use p tag, you can use span tag, any tag is fine, but it should be one. You cannot have two p tag or two div tag or two form tag. It should be only one.
Got it. Okay.
Now, why the React applications are faster? Because React takes all HTML inside this JavaScript and tries to manipulate everything before it outputs to the HTML. So that's the reason all manipulation are done before it is sent to the output or sent to the user. That's the reason everything is done in the JavaScript, so it is faster. All the calculation, everything is done in JavaScript, and then output goes to the HTML. Whereas if you go with Angular, they output it first inside this, and then they manipulate it. So manipulation is done after we
After.
the div tag. But in the React, everything is done on the fly in the memory, and then it outputs to the user. So it is much faster, and this is called virtual DOM. We are creating a div tag, but it's not the real div tag. It is in the
Right.
memory. So it is called virtual DOM.
Virtual DOM. Okay.
And in the end, we export this default app. Why we are exporting it? We are exporting because we want other applications to take this component and use it. So to make other JavaScript file to take use of this component, we are exporting it. If we don't export it, then I cannot take this component in other JavaScript files.
So, but how will you use this component? What's the name of this component?
This
That
component is app component.
app component. Okay, okay.
And
Oh,
it
yeah,
will,
you're exporting it so that other components.
other pages can take this app component and we can call this part in other components.
Okay, okay.
Now, in the React, the data flows only in one way.
What do you mean by that?
It means, let's say if I have app.js, then I am calling some other components, for example, main.js from the app.js. I am calling another component called as user.js. So if I create a variable here, for example, name equal to many, for example, I am creating a variable in this app.js, and this name is used in the main.js and user.js. So name is used here, and I'll write name is used here, and name is also used here. And I can update the name here, update the name in this component. Now, when I update this name here, actually I cannot update the name here in main.js. I have to send this update part to the app.js. So app.js is responsible for updating the name. Main.js cannot update the name. It can only send some signals to the app.js that please update the name. And when name is updated in app.js, then all the components which are using the name variable, they will be updated from the app.js. So it goes from the app.js to main.js to user.js. So if I create some variable in app.js, I cannot, let's say if I create a variable in app.js, it is taken by main.js and it is taken by user.js. So it goes the flow one way from app to main or app to user. But when I update it, update cannot happen in the main.js.
Right.
It has to happen in the app.js. So that means it
Because
again,
that is where it was created, is it?
that is why.
That is where it was created, so
Yeah, that is
updation
why.
also should. Okay.
Right. That is where it is created. So I update it here, and then automatically main.js will get new value of the name and user.js will get new value of the name. So it is unidirectional. That is, it goes from top to bottom. It cannot go from bottom to top. So that
Got
is
it.
called unidirectional. If you go with AngularJS, once you update the variable in the user.js, it updates there only. It updates in the user.js only, and then it goes in the bidirectional way. That means it goes in the reverse direction and update in the app.js. So
Even though that variable was created in app.js.
right, right.
Okay.
So in AngularJS, it is bidirectional. You
Got
can
it.
create a name anywhere and you update it anywhere. But
Okay.
in React, it's a unidirectional flow.
Got it. Got it.
So this is about the basics of some basics of the React.js. Now we will jump into the real part. So before starting the React, is Node installed on your computer? Node.js?
Node.js is installed. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I want to see the version of Node.js. So just say Node -v
Okay.
and tell me what version you have.
6.11.1.
Yeah, I have 6.11 Pado. So you have better than mine. I have 6.11. Okay, then do npm -v.
npm -v. 5.3.0.
Okay, I have 3.10. So I have an older version than you. I need to update it, but it's okay. That means it will work for all the things. Okay, so now we will start our first project and I will show you something. Maybe if you know, then we will move a little faster and then we'll go further. So to install the React or to create a React app, you need to install one application that is called Create React App. Have you installed that before in the class?
No, this I don't know. This I need help with. Yeah.
Okay, so first step is just in the installation. You need to run this command. You have Mac or Windows?
Mac.
Okay, so you have to run as sudo npm install -g create react-app. So I will give you this in the chat.
And this is anywhere, right? Not a specific
Anywhere.
class.
No need to go any specific. Anywhere you can say. I will put it in the chat so you can. So you can run later, maybe just.
Okay, sure. I'll just follow.
Otherwise, waste our time, right?
Yes.
Just follow. So once you run this step, then this application will be installed on your computer. Create React app. Now you have to go to particular folder. Let's say where you want to put your files. So go to particular folder.
It's asking for password.
Yeah, your password, computer password. Sudo is also your password.
Okay.
So you have to go to particular folder, and then you have to install your first project. So this is, we are writing our first project. So how to create our first project? I will say create React app space, and I will give the name of the project. So for example, I will say project 5. You can say project 1 because I have already 4 projects created. And I will press enter. Then it will install, create a project. So let's do that. I will do the project.
So this create React app, is that the boilerplate for a React app? That is what they call boilerplate React, or no? It's just.
It's a kind of, let's say, I will define boilerplate into 2 parts. So let's say one boilerplate is something React people will give me some initial files. So React people will give some initial files. But to make an application, I have written some code which I need to be used in all the application which I start with. So that is called the boilerplate which I have created. So there will be another boilerplate which I have created. I will give you that boilerplate once we reach at that point. We will build one boilerplate for our application. So whenever we start our new application, we will start with this boilerplate. First, we will install with React boilerplate, and then we will delete the files, and then we will put our boilerplate. So that is called 2 boilerplates are there. So I will put here create React app. I will say project 5. So it will install all the related files to the needed in the React application.
This notes that you're taking, that you'll send me via email as well. I have that.
Yeah. I will send you this all, whatever I'm putting.
Sure. Thanks.
But you also take notes as I go, because these notes will be, sometimes these are not full notes, but you take whatever
I'm taking whatever you're saying and not writing there, but these installation instructions I might need.
And if you forget to take the notes, then go to the video, check the video, and then take them.
Yes, that's a good idea. But how do I access this class after we have ended? Is there?
I will send you the YouTube link.
Okay.
And only you can access. No one other can access that link. That's the reason I asked your Gmail. It will be private video, only shared to you.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, now we'll see if it is done. It takes some time, a couple of minutes. If your machine is slow, it will take more time.
Okay.
So once it is installed, I will show you the folder structure which it creates and where we have to work.
Okay. Have you taught before? Like, were you in teaching profession before? You teach really well, actually.
Actually, I started my career as a teacher only, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
I was teaching computer application in 2000. But that time I was teaching, the basics to them, programming also, designing, everything.
Hello. Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, yeah, I can hear you now.
I don't know.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, hi, I can hear
Can you
you.
hear
Can
me
you hear
now?
me? Yes,
Okay.
I can.
Okay. Okay. Some problem with voice.
No issues.
Okay. So now let's go to the now it is installed. Now we have now these are the few commands we can run. The first one which we will do is the npm start. So before uh, if we want to run our application, we will say npm start. It starts the development server and we can develop our application. So it's saying first go to your project, cd project file. So I'll go to cd project file, and then it's
This
saying
was after we did create React app
right,
project, right? Okay.
right. And then it's saying do npm start. So I will say npm start. Once the npm start, the server will start and I can see my code in the browser. So this is the browser. This is the default code which React people have given me. I can see that code here. So this is the HTML part which React people have given us. So we are able to see our page. And if I go to more tools, developer tools, in the console, I don't see any errors. That means everything is fine.
Right.
So this is the initial page which we got when we did the create React app. Now we will modify this page and to our satisfaction, whatever we want to do. Let's go to the project file and see what folders are created by create React app. So if I go to the project file, you will see on the right side project file, we have three folders. One is called node modules folder. One is called public folder. One is called source folder. All the code related to the React part, you will put in the source folder. You can create multiple folders, multiple directory structures in the source folder, and you can create your React files. In the node modules, you will see lot of files are there, lot of folders are there. These are the helpers needed in the React application. So anything which React tries to load kind of thing, it takes from the node modules. So node modules is a place where we install new modules, or we take any third party React application and put it in the node modules. And from node modules, React will automatically take it and use it whenever needed.
Right.
Next is the public folder. In the public folder, we try to put all images file and HTML file, which is the main file, index.html. We don't put other files, but we put images file, or if we have any static files which we want to use, we put it in the public folder.
Public. Okay.
And if you open the index.html, this all code, you don't have to touch any part of the code. You have to just, you cannot touch any part of the code, but you can add some CSS or JavaScript if you want in below this title or in the body. But you don't want to change anything which is already given by the React people, unless it is very much needed. So for example, you cannot change this. You can change this content width if you want to, but don't try to change this, which is React people have created it. And don't change this div ID root. If you change this, then you have to change at other places also, which uses this ID root.
Okay.
Now, if I go to the source folder, these are the few initial files given by the React people. So right now, I will delete some files because I don't want to use it in the first few times. So then we create our own thing. So let me delete .app.css. I will delete app.js. I will create myself app.js. I will create app.taste.js. I will delete index.css. I will delete logo.svg. Let's delete that one. So right now I have index.js only. In the index.js, I am referencing index.css. Since I deleted index.css, I will delete this line.
Okay.
App.js is also I'm referencing app.js. Deleted app.js, but I will create the app.js, so I will not delete this app part.
Okay.
And that app.js which was created, which we are importing that app in this line. It is said import app from app.js. Since it is not mentioning .js, that means it's defaulting to JS. So if I say,
and what does the second app means? Like you say import app from app.js. So what does app mean? What does this mean?
This app means we will be using this component which is written in this app.js. We will use this component with the name app. I can also change this to X. Whatever name I want, I can give.
Oh, okay.
So this is a name which I will use it in this page. And this is coming from this app component.
Got it.
So generally, whatever name I have used in this app.js, I have to use that same name here.
Okay.
But you can change it. But then you have to, there are some rules to change it. Right now, we will use same thing, whatever we created in the app component.
Got it.
And this is a variable which holds the component. And which is the
variable
component? Which is the component? Component is app.js. So then let's create app.js. I will create a file app.js. And here I will create the component. And to create a component, we will use this syntax. Syntax is import React, component in the curly brackets from the React. And this React is somewhere located in the node modules. So React will automatically recognize React from this node modules, and there will be react.js or index.js file, and from that file we are getting this React variable and the component variable.
Okay.
Which is written by React team. So we are only using those React and component from the react.js, and this react.js or React index.js may be located inside the node modules. Okay.
So when we did npm install, that is how these node modules got installed.
Right. Okay. We did not did npm install now because create React app automatically does the npm install.
Got it. Okay.
Now we have to start the component by saying class app extends component, and this is an object. So it start with the curly bracket, ends with the curly bracket. In this class, we created one function that is called the render function. And inside the render function, we have the return statement. Return will return the HTML part. This is the complete HTML part. So we will be returning this HTML part. And in the end, we'll export this class, that is the app. Now here I can say hello world. I can put any text, any HTML part here. Let's put hello world here now. Now if I go to index.js, app is coming from app.js, and app.js is returning hello world. And this app we are putting in this React DOM.render. We are saying take this component app and put it inside the root element. Root element we put it in the index.html. So in the index.html, we have the root ID, and we are getting that ID by document.getElement by ID. And whatever HTML part we are getting from app component, we are inserting into this ID.
Okay. Can you repeat once again?
Yes. So in the index.html, we have the div ID equal to root. So remember, this is a root. And we get this reference here, document.getElement by ID root. So that means this is directly related to this ID.
Right.
So with the statement React DOM.render, we are taking the content of app component and inserting into this ID.
Got it. Okay.
And if I change this ID to some X, here also I have to change it to X.
Got it.
Right now I'm using same root so that I can insert app component in this root. That means whatever output will come from the app component, will be inserted into this ID.
Okay.
Right now, don't worry about this register service worker. This register service worker came just now, few days back, and it is in development phase. A lot of things have to be improved in this one. So we will work again after some days on this one. So right now, don't worry about this register service worker. Just remember that these two are imported, and we are importing our component, and this component we are inserting here, which will directly insert into this document.getElementID root, and this root is nothing but index.html div ID root. That means it will go inside this. Right. Main div. So here you will see hello world, because I have written in the app.js, I have written hello world, so you are able to see this one. So you are able to display this one. If I change this to 2, you will see hello world 2.
Okay, got it. Okay.
You don't have to refresh the page. Once you do the change, it will automatically refresh.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we created one component called as app.js, and we used it in the index.js.
Right, right. So app.js is a component, but index.js is a normal JavaScript file, right?
Yes, index.js is not a component. It is normal JavaScript file, which it takes some parameter of the React to get the component from the app.
Got it.
And use it.
Okay.
All components will have this syntax. If this syntax is, that means it's a component.
Components. Okay.
Now we will create. I will show you how we create the components in the React and how to really use as a component. So let's go to bootstrap.com. I will take one example. Let's go to the first example. These are the examples. These are the templates created by Bootstrap. These are some dummy templates. So I go to first template. So let's say if I want to use this template in the React, how to use this template in the React. So I can put complete HTML in this page. Whatever HTML you are able to see, this is the navigation, this is the Bootstrap. I can take complete HTML and put it in this component, and it will be my React component. I can take a whole HTML part and put it inside this tag.
Okay.
It will become my component.
So this page, whole HTML code, you can put it inside that div.
Right.
Oh,
and it will become this template.
Oh, okay.
The suspense does not end here. Let's say if I want to use this navigation, top navigation in my multiple pages or multiple places.
Right.
So what I will do, I will create one component from this navigation part, the top part, and one component from this bottom part, and then I will call both the components in the third file. So there will be one component which will take only this navigation top part. Second component will take this bottom part, and we will call both the components in third file, and user will see both as a single page, but we have written two components.
Okay. So for header we need one component, and for the main content we need another component. Right.
This all depends on you, how you want to build your application. If you feel that whole thing comes in one page, it's up to you. You can put whole page in one component and use it. But tomorrow you feel, let me create two components, one for the navigation and one for this detail part, so that I can use navigation at different places. I can use this part in different places. So you can create two components. Now, after some time, you can also think this middle document has a header name, and there is a body. This is some kind of header is there, and there is a small document is there, paragraph is there. So you can also divide this into two components. One only consists of header, and one consists of this body. So initially it was one template. Now you divide it into first component, that is the header. Then you divided the second component, this is the title. Then you divided the third component, that is the paragraph.
Right. Okay.
Also created three components from the main component.
But when you're doing a project, like for example, we'll do a project. How do we like? I remember you texted me on the on Meetup chat when we were talking. You were like, you can have this component, that component. How do I gain that acumen? How would I know that I have to create so much components? I could just like, how do you know? And what is the most efficient solution to have more and more components in React? Is that so?
Yes. So try to divide the page into as small components as you want.
Got
So
it.
whole page has to be divided into small components. That is the right approach. Though you can put everything in the page, but that is not the right approach. Right approach is try to divide the whole page into many small components, as much as you can think of. Maybe I can think of more detailing, or I can think of less detailing.
Right.
But when you are building, whatever you think in your mind, just make based on your thinking, how deep you can go.
Got it. Okay.
Maybe you can create, for each link, you can create a separate component. Project name, one component, home, another component, about another component. So you can go to detail level. So it all depends on your visualization, how deep you can go.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so now let's build this template in our React application. We'll see how to build this component and integrate in our React app. So before building that, this is the Bootstrap one, so we need that Bootstrap file. Okay, so there are a couple of ways to get the Bootstrap. I will tell you one method now, and there are other ways which I will tell you later on. So let's take this Bootstrap link which they have given in their page, and I will put it in the index.html. Below the title, I will put this link. So that means I get all the Bootstrap CSS inside my application.
Got it. Okay.
Let me delete. Close.
It's not just that template that you were showing. It's the whole Bootstrap we are getting through that.
I'm getting only the CSS template. We have to build.
Okay.
Template is on the top of this template. Is based on the CSS file, and we are getting just now only the CSS file.
Got it. Okay.
And I put the CSS file inside this index.html. Now all my pages will be able to access this CSS file.
Right.
Now we will build this template in React. So I will go to the view source of this page. I don't need this top part, header part. We don't need it. We are only concerned with the body, inside body. So let's take this navigation part, and I will put it in the app.js. I will, instead of hello world, I will put navigation part. And I will go to the body, and I will take this body part. I don't need this bottom one right now.
Okay.
So we are just putting body part here. So once I put the whole template here, right now I'm creating only one component. Then I will divide into multiple components. Right now the aim is just to create this whole template and show this page like this.
Got it.
In our React application. So what I will do now, here I need to do some cleanup. Though I got the HTML, but React will not accept all the syntax. React needs some cleanup on our side. First cleanup we will do is we don't need comments. Comments is not like this. React will give error if we use this comment. So we need to delete these comments.
Okay.
So let me delete another comment. Another thing is React don't like this class word, because class is already used here. So instead of class, React people have told just use the class name.
Okay.
So everywhere I will replace with class name. I will do find replace all on the class name.
But just line 3 you need to be careful.
Yeah, at line 3 I will just make it class.
Okay. So we just don't use class because already we are using in class.
Right. So we did the cleanup. Now if I run my HTML page, so it is saying some error is there. Let's see where is the error there. It's saying expected corresponding JSX closing tag for BR is needed. So let's go and see the BR. Where is the BR tag? So yeah, BR is here. Now what is the problem? BR tag. In the React, we need to have closing tag. But BR is a HTML tag which does not have closing tag. So we can give the self-closing tag for the BR.
Okay.
So otherwise, it will not accept. So
Yeah, for
whenever we
HTML, it's just a new line, right? Yeah.
right in HTML, BR does not have.
Yeah.
It's a
Close.
new line but closing tag. So we have to
Yeah.
make the self-closing like this.
Okay.
Then you will see it is coming, but it is not coming like this. It is not coming like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
The reason is it also includes one CSS that is called starter template CSS. We need this part to make it look like this one. Okay, it's taking one more CSS file called a starter template CSS. In addition, the Bootstrap is taking this CSS. So let's put this CSS in our application.
Okay.
Let's create one source CSS file inside my source folder. I will say new file and I'll name it as app.css. And in the app.css, I will put the code, that is whatever it is mentioned in this one.
Right. Right. Okay.
Now in the app.js, I will call this app.css, and to call the app.css, I will say import / app.css, just like this. Whatever file it is there, I need to call that file.
But usually we call the CSS and HTML only, right? But that is not enough for React.
We can call this in the HTML also.
Okay.
Either I can put it in the React, or I can copy this part in here in the public folder. I can create a style.css.
CSS. Yeah.
And then I can call in the index.html, I can call style.css also.
Okay. Okay. Or wherever you have to create the CSS inside that public if you're calling in the HTML.
Yes, but there is difference between these two. Generally, if you put in the index.html, I generally put the library file I put here in the index. And any CSS file
that you make.
Any I make, I generally put it in the source folder.
Got it. Okay. I think I'll follow that practice. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's variable. In my company also, one person likes to create CSS here only. He don't like here. Some people like here. So CSS is a variable thing. You can either put it here, either put it in. So there are no standard rules given by the React people.
Okay.
And in their example, we see they have created the app.css inside the source folder.
Right.
So basically, we can follow that step also. We can put in the app.css and we can use in the directly in the React code rather than getting here.
Got it. Okay.
So I will put it here. Now, if I refresh my page, you will see it is refreshed and it is now showing same like this. Right. But it is giving some warnings here that hash sign is not valid. So wherever we have hash sign in the URL, like here, so we should put some hash sign with some decent name. Maybe right now put // but we have to give proper links kind of which we have.
Okay.
Okay, so now warning should go. Now warnings is gone. So we have a template which we take from Bootstrap and we integrate it in the React application. Now let's divide this component into two components, one for navigation, one for this part. So what I will do, I will create two components more. Let's create one more file. I will say nav.js for my navigation component. I will say new file, maybe body.js for main.js. Let's change it to main.js. For the main part, that is the main part. And then what I'll do, I will open the navigation.js. I'll create a nav component, and I have written a snippet for nav. Here I will change with nav. This is the standard syntax of component creation. I have saved as a snippet kind of thing. Whenever I create new component, I just paste it here.
Got it.
For writing quick component, and I will just rename the component to nav.
Okay.
And then I will go here and I'll take the nav here and I'll cut it.
Okay,
And,
I see what you're saying.
and if I put nav instead of this tab, div tag, will it be okay or I have to put inside the div tag? This I'm asking.
You have to put inside div tag?
The answer is I have to put only in the one tag. So even if it's a nav tag, it's fine. I don't need to put
Okay.
inside the div tag.
Okay.
So nav tag is fine. Now I have to import this, since I'm exporting this nav tag, I have to import this nav tag here in the app.js. So I will say import nav.js, import nav as nav.js.
Okay.
Yeah, from the,
Right. Okay.
right. So import nav from nav.js, and here I can use this nav like this, the component. So how to use this nav? I have to write this in this format: less than sign, nav, closing tag, greater than sign.
Okay, in the app. Okay, right.
Right. So if I refresh, see, it's coming same thing. It's no difference.
Right.
Remember,
I understood that you wrote nav.js separate, but what is this that you're doing on line 11? What are you doing here by calling? You're just calling nav?
Okay. Yeah, I got whole this HTML
Yeah.
part
Yeah.
inside this variable, nav variable,
Yeah.
and I'm taking this nav and I'm putting here to display this whole part, because this
Okay.
whole part will go in the variable called as nav, and that nav will be displayed here.
Got it. Okay.
To display the component, this is the way to display the component.
And always the app.js is responsible for displaying all the components. All the components has to be called under app.
No, I can write another component which I can call here, and then I have to import it here. So app, I can call only components which I need to call for the app. Let's say I have another component which is, let's say I put this part in another component. So I have to call that component here
in nav, and then nav in app.
Nav in app, right.
Got it. Okay. Whatever is the parent, you have to call in that first.
Right.
Okay.
Now I will put this in the another component that is called a main component. I will go to the main.js, and I'll create a component, and inside that I will put that div tag which I got it from that page.
Main. Okay.
And let's change this to main. I created main component. I put some HTML tag in the main component. Then I will go to the app.js and I will import the main component.
Main.js, yeah.
Main.js. Now I have main variable which will capture all this part. And then I have to display this main here.
Okay.
Now we are displaying nav component and we are displaying main component.
What will happen if you call main inside nav? Again, it will be same, right? Because ultimately nav is also being called by app, or no?
Right. Let's say if I put main here, and instead of main here, I will put main here after that. The result will be same. Okay, there is some error. Let's see what is the. It needs closing tag. Okay, since I told you I need only one part. Now I have two parts.
Yeah.
I have to put it inside the div tag.
Okay.
For the things.
Okay.
So I will. Now I get the result proper.
Got it.
Okay. So let's say I don't want to put it here. I want to put in app.js now. I will move from here. And I will put it inside main.
Right.
Inside app, I will create a main.
And then call main.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah, new line.
New line. It will be showing like this.
Got it. Okay.
So now we will go to another part, but before that, if you go to this page, it has different template, right? Let's go with this template. It has drop down, but this drop down will work if you go to this HTML part. You need to include this JavaScript file also to make the drop down work. We need to put jQuery, and we need to put bootstrap, bootstrap.min.js. These two files has to be included for this drop down to work.
Okay.
We will see this also template in some time, maybe today or tomorrow. Let's check this one. No, this is not a real template. Let's check this one. So basically, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, whenever you get time, you have to build this template. I'll give you in the chat the URL. So basically, what you have to do, you should have one navigation component and one this Jumbotron component. This is called Jumbotron component. And then you have to create three components, one on the left side, one on the middle side, one on the right side, three components. And then you have to create another fourth component of the footer, which will take this part. And try to make, if you get similar looks kind of thing. This will not require anything except the bootstrap file, which we included today. So we included which file? We included this bootstrap file.
Index.html, yeah,
this one. I will paste it in the chat also.
Okay.
We need only this one, and this template will also need this part of this file only.
Right.
So you have to just build one project with we have a navigation at the top. Jumbotron component is the second component.
Right.
Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth is this component. So with 6 components, you have to build one project.
And footer. Okay.
Right. So this is an exercise you have to do as a homework.
Right. Okay. And I mean, mostly it's nothing new from what you taught, right?
Right. Only thing, there are more components. I thought only 2 components. Here you have to create multiple components and then put it all in the app.js.
App.js. Got it. Okay.
Now we will move to a little further step in the React, and that is called variable creation. So we will not be able to complete that today, but let's start that part.
Yeah.
And then we will continue next time.
Sure.
Okay, so I will explain you a little bit about variable creation. So variables are created in the name. You can create all, first rule is you can create all the variables as you create in JavaScript. Like var name equal to many, like this. This you can do. You can do also using let statement. I can say let name is equal to many. If you know that variable will not change, you can use constant also. Constant name is equal to many. These 3 are the normal ways of variable creation.
I've not heard about let. Let is new, is it? In ES, is it ES6?
Yeah, ES6. These both are in the ES6. So you have to use let and constant. Right now, don't worry about let, what it does, what is the difference between let and var. But right now, just to create it with the var. Later on, I will tell you what is the meaning of let when we reach to that point.
Got it.
Now, main thing in variable creation, I'm not talking about these 3 variables. These are the normal JavaScript variables which you can create anywhere, any place. I am talking about the variables which we pass from the app.js to other components. I am talking about the variables which we save in our application. I am talking about variables when user will fill the form, we need to update some variables. That variables I am talking about now. So to use those variables, I need to understand 2 things. One is called the state. Another is I need to understand the props. All the variables created under the state, variables under state can be edited. We can edit it. We can change the content. We can change the name, or we can change the object. We can change the array. Whatever we create in the state, we can change it. Whatever variables we use in the props, we cannot change it. It is only for the display purpose.
Got it. Okay.
So if you create as a state variable, you can change it. But if you create a props variable, you cannot change it. It's only for the display purpose. So just remember these two things. Now let's create a variable using the state, and we will see how to pass it in the props. So to do that, I need to create another project, because, or I can use this same project, but I need to delete all the content. Just to know. Okay, I'll start npm start again. So let me delete the content and then I'll show you. So right now I don't need nav and app. I will create two components, more components. I'll say new file. I can say component1.js. I'll create another component, component2.js. In the component one, let's create a basic component structure. I will name it as component. Also remember, all the components should have the capital letter in the beginning. And all the HTML tags should have small letter. So whenever you're calling small letter, it is HTML. Whenever you're calling component, it is like this. I'm calling capital N. Capital N means component. Here is the div tag. Div means HTML tag.
Right.
So all the components should have capital letter. This is my component 1. And same thing I will do for component 2. This is my component 2. And then I will call component 1 and 2 here in my app. And here I will say and here I will call component 1 and 2. So let's see the page. This is my main page. I have component 1, I have component 2. And where is the main page defined? Main page is defined in the app.js. I have defined the main page. Where is this component 1 is defined? In this component 1 is defined here in the component 1.js. Where is the component 2 defined? Component 2 is defined here in the component 2.js. Now I will create a variable called as state variable, this one. So state variable is created at one page, that is the main page. You can create state variable in any of the components, but it is not necessary to create in any of the page. Generally, the parent component, that is app.js, is the main place where you create all the state variables, and all other components like component 1 and component 2, they will get the variables in the form of the props. So the variable from the main component here, we will pass the variables to component 1 and component 2, and when we pass the variables to component 1 and component 2, it will be in the form of props. So we cannot change.
State is always there in apps. State cannot be defined in component 1 and 2.
Right. And whenever we pass some variables to another component, it will go as a props.
Got it.
So if we want to change something in the variable, we have to go to the app.js, because only state can be changed. We cannot change the props. Props cannot be changed. That means any variable we cannot change in component 1, we cannot change in component 2. Only place to change the variable is the app.js. And when app.js change the state, that new state will go again to the component 1 and to the component 2 in the form of the props, and the new variable will be displayed to the user.
That is what you were explaining in React as unidirectional, right?
Right. So today I will just create the state, and we will continue in the next class. So by the time you have to do some homework, and you have to watch the video 4 or 5 times and then do the state variable. Just create a state variable, and then once you are done with these things, just message me. We'll keep another session.
Okay.
Now how to define the state? So to define the state, I need to create one function that is called the constructor. This constructor function is always called when app is called. So whenever app is loaded, constructor will automatically load it. We don't need to do any extra effort to call this function. This is the default function of the class, and it will be called automatically. And render is also called automatically by the React people, that React class. So we don't need to really call this specifically. But if we create some function, our custom function, blah 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 blah, if we need to call this function, we have to manually call this somewhere here or anywhere.
Okay.
But constructor and render are automatically called by the React, so we don't need to call specifically those functions.
Got it.
And in the constructor, I need to put a default value initially that is called props. Constructor always take one value that is called props, and in the constructor first line should be always this, the one which I am writing it. It is called super props. So that means some properties are passed into this class, and these properties are passed to the super props. Super props means component. Super is a component. So these properties will be passed to the component. So whenever we create the constructor in the React, we always pass the properties. Even though we don't have any property, we say props, and these properties will go to the parent class. Parent class is the component, so we name it as super. Super means parent class, and these properties will go to the component. So whenever we create the constructor, we need to create the super props, though we will not use it specifically, but for our application to work properly, we need to call this 3 lines as it is.
Right. Okay.
Now I will create my variable, state variable, that will be like this. This dot state is equal to object. Object means curly bracket. I will create a curly bracket. And inside the curly bracket, I can create as many variables I want. For example, I can create name, many. I can create age, let's say 43. I can create gender, let's say male. I can create, for example, city, let's say I can put San Francisco. I can create state, CA. I can create country, US. So these variables I created in the state. Created this variable in the state, and then I can change the variables, and I can pass these variables to component 1 and component 2, and then I can play with these variables.
And this is the function, is it? Or the component function?
This constructor is a function. Which you are saying function?
No, I'm saying line 11. This that you are using, this
means the class. This class, app class.
Yes. Okay. Because
and this is a variable. This is the variable. State is the variable.
App class. Okay.
Okay. So now if I do console.log, I'll say state is, and I'll say this dot state. Then whenever the page will load, I can see this variables in the page load.
Okay.
So let's see if I refresh it. So I can see whenever the page is load, I can refresh the page again, and I'll get the state with all the values. And whenever value will be changed, you will see the new value appearing in this state.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So this is how we create the state. And tomorrow I will show you how we will pass these variables to component 1 and component 2. And I will also show you how to change the variable, any variable, and then how the variable passes to component 1 and 2 with the new values.
Okay.
So,
and that new values can only be done in the app.js.
Right. We have to in the app.js, it will pass to the component 1 and then component 2.
Okay. Okay.
So this is for today. Let's let me give this notes. Can I give you in the chat? Then you can save it somewhere.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, in the chat, just take this. Otherwise, I can mail also if you
That's
want.
fine. No, that's okay.
And once I upload the video in the YouTube, you will get an email that this video is located at this place. You can go there and you can watch it.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
And I will assign the video to this email. So whenever you logged in with this email, then only you will be able to view the video in the YouTube.
YouTube. Okay. All right.
Okay, that's it for today. Any questions?